Welcome back to coverage of Enemy Down's Eurokrieg final with sponsorship from B Broadband. The advantage for gamers, I'm told. And I can actually vouch for that as well because I've got a B Broadband account at home. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that a little bit later on. The Eurokrieg final is coming a little bit later, in about an hour's time. First up, though, we have the semi-final game, the last map of which between XOXO and London MiNT. Yes, London has a professional gaming team. There's some intrigue here at the Sports Cafe. What the heck is going on back there? There's some sort of gaming tournament, and he's talking about professional players who earn salaries. It's ridiculous. Is it ridiculous?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Shouldn't be happening. Shouldn't be international tournaments with professional people just clicking their mouses. It'll never work. It'll never catch on.
Never catch on. In the meantime, we have the semi-final final map for you. Those of you who are already here that follow Counter-Strike Source will already know what the result is, so keep quiet, please. Just go along with it, right? With us. But for those of you who don't know Counter-Strike, a little bit of an introduction to it, sort of break you in gently for the final a little bit later on where we go all hardcore on you. So we're going to give you the final map, which is on Nuke. It's XOXO versus London MiNT, and it is the semi-final of the B Broadband-sponsored Eurokrieg Cup, courtesy of our friends at TNWA and, of course, Enemy Down. And we are underway in round one.
Most certainly are. Then let's explain this for you. Just like any other game out there, it's all about killing your opponents and winning rounds and planting bombs. You know, you win a round by either killing all of your opponents, planting a bomb and letting it go explode. In doing so, you acquire money. As the money makes the world go round. The more money you get, the bigger the weapons you get. You start off with just pistols, and for each kill you get more money. For each bomb plant, you get more money, and then you buy more weapons. If you don't do any of the above, you don't get money, and you get worse weapons, and as such, you become disadvantaged. It is also like a game of football where one team may race away. Well, a game of football where you're playing uphill the first half, and then in the second half, you have the opportunity to come back. Some maps have an inherent bias, and Nuke is one of those, which is the map we're playing right now.
It is, indeed, a nuclear plant. So I guess you could say in the real world of things, the idea of a terrorist blowing up a nuclear power plant is pretty realistic, I guess. But they have two bomb sites on this particular map. All maps, have two bomb sites. This one up, one down. So you'll hear us call upper and lower. Right now, XOXO looking towards the lower bomb site. They've crept down the back ramp. There's three of them waiting here, two George Michael lookalikes as they make their way into that low bomb site right now. They will pull out the Desert Eagle with a kill on Henry G, known as Grierzo in this particular game, but it is Henry G.
You could say he woke him up before he go-goes.
Oh dear, that's a terrible one, but I'll let you off. Husey has come up with another, Jimmy in with one, and Dan with another one. So XOXO going through like a hot knife through butter right now on that lower bomb site. Only Rich remaining here, and he's now got a very tall order. Doesn't really need to save that USP because he's going to get another one at the start of the next round anyway. So he might as well go gung-ho. And John McClane, I was thinking. Although I was thinking of John McCain for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, well.
The political puns will no doubt come out as well. The first round then, a pistol round, Stuart, and important to win one.
Most certainly is, because as I mentioned, it's all about being successful, whether you're a successful terrorist or a successful counter-strike. Both are counter-terrorist. Both are rewarded with money, which equals weapons, and that makes your job easier. The game does balance it out. It is inherently balanced. The game is, well, the game's rule set is now at least 10 years old, and that is what has allowed the game to evolve and to become balanced, so that no one team can race away unless they are just that good. And XOXO, having won that, you'll now see, in fact, going to buy a few extra items, although not buy full-on SMGs at this moment. In fact, no, we do have some AKs coming out, some Galils.
Yeah, we do have a couple, as well as MP5s. Yeah, so yeah, they are on as much as they can buy in this particular round. They will have the weapon advantage, and you'll see that London MiNT right now have just boosted one player up into a sneaky spot, waiting for XOXO perhaps to attack that outside area through the Mac building. On the other hand, London MiNT, well, they've kind of borrowed from Birmingham Salvo, whose approach to eco rounds does seem that they'll buy a Desert Eagle instead. And Smallhead in this particular game is actually URL from the London MiNT. He's picked up the opening frag. So XOXO looking a little dodgy as they've opened up things here in the second round. They should be looking to win this one comfortably. They've not done anything drastic so far on push, but they've got down that lower back ramp as well, in towards that lower bomb site at B. And well, that's given them a chance to get into the bomb site. Down low is Exy right now. He's checking one side. Auger has picked up the frag on Husgy. Husey with another big kill for London MiNT. That's two. Husey's now found himself an AK-47. Let's see if we can find him. and has also got himself a kill on Fetish as well as they move in towards this lower bomb site right now. They all need to defuse that bomb that's ticking away just to the left-hand side of Husey, who we're on board with right now. He's spied one down by the ramp. Can he pick up the frag there? No, he can't. So let's just have a check and see. 2v1 right now. Husey is last man standing with 17 health and will fall to his death thanks to the Galil shot from Org down in that low bomb site. It's a 2-0, but a tricky round there for XOXO. Lost a couple of men.
Most certainly, and that's the goal if you're not going to win. Find the kills on your opponents to make them have to rebuy their weapons and thus make the game that little bit harder for them financially, because otherwise they may be able to race away with it. But we'll see as XOXO now charge along with Augur, who we follow. They're now going to look like they make assault on that top site. There are 4 players sat waiting there, and very much almost if you're playing, I guess, Dungeons and Dragons. You have your strategies, you have your runs that you're going to go for to try and make an assault into an area. But it hasn't come to this area. We're going to the bottom area. In fact, we're not going to find anyone at the moment because they are still fighting it out on the entry points, but the frags coming in left, right, and center. Here you go with XO. They have now cleared out onto the top bomb site. They'll put the bomb down. That's money in the bank whether it blows or not.
Didn't actually get that bomb planted. We'll have to plant it now for the extra cash, and I don't think they'll get that extra cash. Won't matter too much. They have picked up the round anyway. And yeah, just to try and give you an outside view, really, that was the top bomb site that they've been broke into. You saw from the overhead shots we showed you the top bomb site. We went through the floor. We kind of cheated there a little bit and went down low. They can't do that, obviously. Thank God. Otherwise, there'd be
cheating.
Yeah, cheating. And we're now on board. Just to orientate you as well, if you're not familiar with Counter-Strike or even third-person shooters, we're now on board with Fetish. It's seeing exactly what we see from the outside of him. But if we click a couple of times, you'll see we're actually now in his helmet cam, if you like, with the gun out and obviously the flashes and so on that you'll be able to see on your screen. This is Rich's screen right now. He's spying just outside and checks towards the red cargo box. Hasn't seen anyone there so far. Bomb has been planted, and he now knows that it's not in the upper side. It is down in the lower side, so he'll drop down through the vent. The bomb will just be down to his left-hand side. Oh, great shot from Rich. It was in the end. It was Husey picked up the frag in the end, but I thought Rich had connected. Hudge G in on Augur, and that will be that for them. They will get the bomb defused. And the 4th round, in the first time that MiNT, the London MiNT, would have been able to buy, has ended up going their way. And we should explain, first half is 15 rounds, second half is 15 rounds if we need it. If it's tied at the end of 15, there will be overtime. Very unusual that happens, not all the time, of course. And we will play out through this first 15 rounds. The advantage on this particular map, though, Stuart, is firmly with the counter-terrorists. So the fact that XOXO have already picked up those 3 rounds off the pistol round is pretty big for them. Yeah,
most certainly. Playing on counter-terrorists is easier on this map because there are so few entry points. If you look where Smallhead is now, or where XO are trying to assault from, you can see that he's actually watching around the back. If we switch along to someone on the inside of that site, we'll show you that it's actually very difficult to get in there because there are very 2 small points. And that basically means that it's easier to defend than it is to attack. There's 1 point coming through the tin can, and there's another one to the right, and then the outside route. But look at the size of that. You've got to get a whole team through that. Not easy, but Fetish is going to try.
He is certainly going to try making his way through right now. There are 3 of them, have all broken in. Perfect timing from them. They haven't spied Smallhead at the back of the site, which is actually URL. He did get gunned down by Jimmy in the end, and they've made a great entry into this upper bomb site. Now, Rich with 2 big kills in on that bomb site as well. Henry G has made his way down into that upper site as well. There's another man side just inside that tin can. Dan is the man right now for XOXO. Exy also alive still as well. So the 2 versus 1. Henry G is last man standing and is trying to work out exactly where his opponent is. He's got the grenade kill. He's gone for the defuse, and Exy will wait him out and pick up that final frag. So that's a great round from XOXO. 4-1 in the lead on a terrorist side on what is considered to be a very wildly counter-terrorist biased map.
Most definitely. They've picked up their rounds. You know, consider them away goals if you're going to go football-wise. Consider it like going to the new camp and scoring goals. It's crucial. These are gold dust rounds for XOXO if they want to win this one. And the more they can pick up in this first half whilst they're on that side, the better. You'll see now that their opponents only have the pistols. You'll see that because they lost the round, because they didn't get the kills, they need to recover their finances and save a round out.
Certainly do. The counter-terrorist side of London MiNT doing well on these Deagle rounds. They don't tend to full eco, which eco short, of course, for economy. They don't tend to full eco because they prefer to pick up what I call the Birmingham Servo strand, which is that they'll buy Desert Eagles every round just to help them try and pick up a few kills. It does have a powerful impact, but no match for an AK really, unless you're absolutely accurate, which some of these London MiNT players are indeed. They're 4-man pushing forward here with XOXO, but again, Henry G causing all sorts of problems at the back of the stairs. And Jimmy finally dealing him a death blow with that AK. They're now going to push towards the bottom of the ladder. Will they go up it and then drop down into the upper site? I think they probably will here, as Jimmy now makes his way in towards that upper site. So it does look as if it's going to be an upper bomb site plant. URL is actually one of only 2 men alive right now. Hudge G is the other one, and only has a USP in hand. Auger picking up the kill on URL. So last man standing is the man on your screen, and he will no longer be alive. And that'll be 5-1. London MiNT, well, they were on a partial buy that round with those Desert Eagles, but this time round will be able to fall by. But even so, a great round, 5-1 on a terrorist-sided map. You'd take that if that ended 10-5. You
would certainly look at that and say, right, you know, from 3, we'll be happy to take two more out of this and set up shop for the second half. But it's not the case from XO's point of view. They're in a very, very powerful position here. And London MiNT have weapons, so this is another crucial round for XO if they want to take it. Get a very, very easy run through that top site. They shouldn't have been allowed to make the move that they have done, and will now make their way through, looking for the London MiNT players. As there are 2 ways of playing defense on a map. You can either keep everyone out, or you can try to reclaim. And London MiNT look like they're going for the reclaim option.
Yeah, Fetish just dealing a nice shot out to Henry G, and has got rid of him. He's now moving down to the bottom of the ladder. There is a man above him as well in that top of ladder room. He's decided he's going to back away. Still has 87 points of health. Rich still spying down with an AWP as well. And Jimmy moving towards him now as he just popped back into the vent. And Jimmy, I think, just about spied him in time as that bomb is planted, as Rich picks up the kill on Fetish. They were looking to go head-to-head in that room as Auger now is down low. Let's check and see what we've got left right now. 4 versus 3. And London MiNT with the advantage. Oh, that's a missed shot from Auger. He really should have landed. Does get the second one, though, on Hudge G. Can't quite spin around quick enough to down Husey, who will pick up that frag on Auger. Now, Jimmy and Exy in towards the bomb site goes Rich. He hasn't got a kit here either. And he's going to go for the defuse because the last 2 men have been killed. And that will be around to London MiNT. Well, it should just about be able to defuse that in time, and does. And quite unusual there to see him not have a kit. Explain the kit thing.
Basically, to defuse a bomb, you need a kit. It makes it a heck of a lot easier. It's like riding a bike without 2 wheels, and he had to go the hard way around it. This forces XOXO, having lost that round and having lost a lot of men in the previous rounds, to have to save their weapons. So for the first time, the tables are turned. XOXO don't have the weapons, London MiNT do, and now we should perhaps see London MiNT begin to build a lead, or come back on the lead that they've lost.
5-2 right now to XOXO, as they look to play this one slightly cagey inside the radio room, looking towards the ramp section. And 4 men so far, actually all 5 men are in here, and they are going like ducks to water into that ramp room. They've ganged up on the man at the back, which is Henry G, and he's been completely overwhelmed by that 4-man push down towards the boxes with Dan now pushing towards that low bomb site. They can get a bomb planted here. They've got a man advantage as well. Can they make it 2 men? No, they can't. URL will pick up that frag on Dan. And, oh, Jimmy just got clipped down the row. And Hudge G and Rich have combined to take down 2 more. Fetish is last man standing. No, he isn't, actually. There's another man, which is Auger. I didn't see where he'd gone. He somehow picked himself up an AWP here. So this round isn't quite dead yet, although Rich is trying to make it a dead round as far as London MiNT are concerned. And this now is last man standing, Auger. So looks like a London MiNT round. We do go on board as Rich will nail that final frag with the AWP, and that'll make it 3-5. A little bit of a comeback trial, but expensive round there for London MiNT. They really didn't want to lose them.
3 players had to rebuy. XOXO playing on the terrorist side, by the way, is cheaper. That's why some teams like to get it out the way quickly. That's why on certain maps it really is a beneficial round to go on terrorist. So XOXO will go now to have the weapons, and will now make their way up onto the rooftops. And what you're going to see from them being on the rooftops here is they're going to fire into a wall, and that may look like something really, really odd. In fact, they're going to boost across. They're not going to go for the wall banging option. And they're boosting players, almost on each other's shoulders, if you will, and will now look to use this to create an opening for themselves. It really is just another tactic. And Counter-Strike, Paul, is a tactical game just like any other you may play, whether it's Command and Conquer, for example. You have to plan your route of attack.
You certainly do. And right now it looks as if XOXO are just waiting to see whether MiNT decide to push them, and it doesn't look as if that's going to happen. You see 3 men in here right now as we come out. There's one, that's Husey just behind the forklift. There's 1 man up in the rafters, and there's 1 man down below, and they've set up a perfect 3-way crossfire that only Jimmy was able to shut down in that upper bomb site. And Henry G now is going to push through this radio room onto the back of them as well. Hudge G with another kill on Dan, and then through into the far side is Henry G. Just looking through that far side, they may have spotted one man outside, and that man is outside. He's in what we call main. Org is out there right now with AK in hand. He thinks he's spotted one at the back of spawn, and he has. And unfortunately, that's a long-range shot from Rich with the USP, which was staggering, quite frankly.
This, the Eurokrieg semi-finals between London MiNT and XOXO. The winner gets to face Very Games, who you will see playing live later on this evening in about, well, 45 minutes or so from now. And it should be an absolute, well, masterclass. The community's eyes are all on it. And much like you would expect if you were watching football, there are community sites out there, there are magazine type of sites out there that are covering this as if it were a sport event.
Absolutely. There's very little difference in terms of the way it's covered, that's for sure. As Henry G gets a triple, can he pick up the fourth? Not quite. And I think he might have damaged Auger there as well. No, he didn't actually land any of those USP shots, but it was a fantastic triple from Henry G, and it didn't look as if he actually landed that fourth shot. He could have finished them off. They've got 2 men remaining, actually, so he's picked up all 3 on the round. He was on for the ace. Not going to happen. Rich waiting in the back of the vents with an AWP sniper. Hud's up in the top of ladder right now, and they're going to creep through radio room here, XOXO, and come back towards lobby and see whether they can push on this upper site, I'd guess. But you're quite right. The eyes of the Counter-Strike source community, particularly on cadra.org, looking forward to the final of the Eurokrieg Enemy Down Grand Final, sponsored by B Broadband. The advantage for gamers. As we now recap the semi-final between XOXO playing as terrorist side on Nuke, up against the, I guess you could say, a little bit more famous lineup of London MiNT. And potentially the team that really should come through. There are a map down already here as Hudge G picks up the last 2 frags of the round. And that will tie them back up at 5-5, and they really are back in this game, Stuart, after a shaky start.
They are right back in it, but they need to close out this second half. They cannot afford to drop, 2-3 more rounds. They just have to be very, very efficient in dispatching of this, so that come the second half, they've got work to play with. Because as we said, it is a lot easier to defend than it is to attack on this map. And as such, London MiNT have to set a total that their opponent can't beat. And, well, we're about to see whether they can do that. On board with Rich, as he lines up that AWP, watching the outside. XOXO on a buy round. That's important that they've got weapons. And if they win that, they get a bomb down. That's more money in the bank. They've got a frag courtesy of Wexy, and now Dan's going to get himself another one. They've lost 2, but it's 3-on-3 with a bomb to defuse, and it's looking good for XOXO as they clear out the recovering London MiNT players, as XOXO have themselves 2 players. You see them here, one with Auger. He's got one to the left, and they are a firing squad down towards that bomb. And it looks to me like London MiNT are going to say, you can have that, and we will save our weapons, hence not having to buy, and you can have the round. 6-5 it'll be to EXO.
Yep, just the 1 man remaining with an AWP expensive weapon, of course, so right choice for Rich when he's 3v1. He's not going to go in there. Great little tactic there. I think what XOXO did was actually vent dive, and Rich just about gets away with his life and his gun at the end of that 11th round. It is 6-5 in favour of XOXO, and just when MiNT were just starting to come back into the game and start securing the round, you're absolutely right with what you said. They really needed to close out this half and make it 10-5, and even then, 10-5 on the CT side, not really a good score. And at this rate, 9-6 would be pretty rough.
And their opponents have got weapons, so really XOXO have given themselves a fighting chance to close this one out without breaking sweat. So this is an important round for MiNT. They've got to break XOXO's momentum.
They really do have to do that, and they're going to pretty much set themselves up as they have through previous rounds. You are around the upper bomb site with Deagle in hand. Has a man up in the rafters. There'll be one above the ladder as well. You saw Henry G was down by ramp, and here are XOXO again. Radio room waiting. Try saying that when you've had a few of the shandies. Radio room waiting.
Shandy Bass for me.
Right. It depends where you're from, of course. 3 in radio right now. 2 men just on. 1 looking in lobby right now as well. So looks as if this might be that ramp. They've had a lot of success, I have to say, pushing this ramp room. Now, I don't know whether that's because Henry G's been playing particularly badly, or whether it's just been more like he's been ganged up on, because he really has been under a lot of pressure at the back of those boxes. That's where that grenade just went as well. They've pushed in there several times with 3, 4 and even 5 men, and he really has come under a lot of pressure. So far, nothing doing. 29 seconds, going to have to make their move fairly shortly, and here comes the push. It is into the lower bomb site yet again, as XOXO look to push that site. Now, is that a fake? It could well be, and they're going to rotate here, go up the ladder and back up into the upper bomb site. And, well, good little fake, but Hughes, he was wide awake and is now down 2 up in the upper area. Is he going to get the third? He is going to get the third. And URL with another one, and Hughesy with a 4th in a row. That's fantastic stuff from MiNT. And you have to say, well, kind of error really from XOXO. They really waited too long. They faked lower. They then went to go up the ladder, and well, Hughesy was too wise for them.
Kind of error is the politest way I could describe that.
I was trying to be polite.
I know. I'm going to run up a ladder where a gun's pointing a gun at me, where a guy's pointing a gun at me. I don't think that's the greatest idea, particularly seeing as they didn't nade it or flash it on the top of that ladder. There are very easy ways to clear out positions in Counter-Strike, be it temporarily or permanently. They're called grenades, and XOXO should know that. As, MiNT now clear out. This is a save round, and basically what will often happen in a save round is XO will try and do damage knowing that they can't win a round. In fact, Fetish has got himself 3 kills.
Yeah, that was actually, there was a couple of sweet headshots from Fetish with that Desert Eagle. It is the most powerful of the pistols. It does cost a little bit more, but it doesn't affect your economy or your finance as you go through. He's now found himself an AWP as well in that Mac building, so I think he'll probably just sit here with that. It's, well, it's a 2v1. You know, a brave man would take this one on, and after all, they can be a little bit more risky. They have 6 rounds already of the 12, so I would be surprised if he didn't go for this. 46, 45 seconds remaining. Bomb is, I think, sitting in the Mac building up above, or maybe I'm disorientated right now. I think it is in that Mac building, but we'll see. Fetish still trying to check and see whether there's a man inside that back hut. Nothing doing, so he does go back and pick that bomb up in the Mac building. They'll have known that as well. 26 seconds remaining. Looked as if he was going to go below ladder and then perhaps remembered what happened last round.
Now we look at the clock as well.
Yeah, the clock becomes a factor here. At the end of this 13th round, now finds himself a counter-terrorist inside the upper bomb site. There's a flash going to go in there as well. I don't think he's got time to get this bomb planted. He's going to have to go for it. Gets one. Can he get the second? Can't get that second. There's a flash went off. They've got 5 seconds. He's going to chase him down the vent and chase him right back, and he finds him. Oh, Hughesy will pick up the frag in the end, though. And that was very, very close for London MiNT. They must have been, well, their hearts must have been racing at the end of that round.
At the end of it, though, it almost seemed like a mistake. 2-on-1 with a minute to go for it. 2-on-1 then eventually with 20 seconds to go, take the expensive weapon and bring it into the next round. May not be the most eye-pleasing to sit there for a minute and wait. However, you're in it to win it. There's 5K on the ground in the grand final. That's what he's got to be thinking of. And okay, 7-6 are in a good position, though, so 2 rounds left in the half.
Yeah, 2 left to the half, you're absolutely right. And Hughes and Rich combining here and really taking XOXO very quickly indeed. Rich will spin around and get another headshot as Hud's finishing off the last man. So I get a feeling that XOXO might just have saved that round so that they can buy for the final round. It is 8-6 to London MiNT, which you might think, well, actually, that's a good score for London MiNT. It's not really a good score on what is, after all, a counter-terrorist bias map. And you have to say that XOXO would be very big favourites going into this half, regardless of what happens in this final round of the half. Although, you know, if they can pick it up, they would be absolutely ecstatic with the way that first half has gone. London MiNT, not so much so. And don't forget, pistols never their strongest point. They play in a league where they don't play pistols, of course. So you could use that as an excuse or as a whine, if you like, but it's just a fact. It's just true. And they generally don't do too well in the pistol rounds, as we saw at the start of this game. It does look as if they are going to pick up this round, though. They've got 3. We've got 1 left, have we? Yeah, just 1 left, and it is the man at the bottom of the scoreboard who pulled off those incredible headshots in the last round with that Desert Eagle in hand. And he will be last man. They've already called good half, and Fetish picking up the frag on Rich, but it's all academic, really. Surely, there's no way he's going to pick up this final round, and MiNT will go into the half with a 9-6 lead.
Yes, they will, and at this point, things are not looking good for the London side. The Danes, or the Scandinavians, are in a fantastic position here to close this one out. But it's never easier said than done. That pistol round we talked about, if you think about it from a position where you don't have weapons for the following 2, normally, if XOXO, particularly being CT, won't have weapons for the following 2, if they were to lose this, it would suddenly be all tied up at 9-9. So to sound like a broken record, because if you listened to us before, you'll know that we'll always say the pistol round is absolutely crucial. And for XOXO, their 3-round advantage will become obsolete if they don't win this pistol round.
Yeah, absolutely true. Yeah, for the benefit of you guys that are here joining us at the Sports Cafe in Haymarket, welcome along to the Eurokrieg Grand Finals, courtesy of Enemy Down and sponsored by B Broadband, the advantage for gamers. Welcome. We're pleased to have you here as well. Make sure you use all of your privileges here, wherever they may be. And make sure you check out B Broadband just to give you an idea of what these guys can deliver. The fastest speed your line can handle. I can vouch for that as well. 24 meg is what you can get. There's also I shouldn't tell you this, but there's possibly some stuff going on with, wow. Was that the first round? I think that might have been the first round. We may have just spoken completely over the first round, but never mind. That's my problem, and that's my fault, and I will apologise for that. Fastest speed your line can handle, free 24/7 support, and unlimited downloads.
Yeah, which is the important factor.
Is the important
nowadays.
I should have said that first, shouldn't I? Unlimited downloads.
It wasn't the start.
It wasn't the start. I didn't think it was live. I'm pretty sure I saw not live said quite a few times, so they've saved my bacon. Thank you, London MiNT and XOXO.
And I think, you know, if looking at B Broadband, you know, it's important to be understanding towards gamers and have things like no download. Because when you're a gamer and you're playing all the time and there's some 40 gig bandwidth cap or something, you're going to go through that in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And then you spend that last week going, I can't play anymore, sorry guys.
Yeah. I can actually vouch for these guys as well. I've had B Broadband for some time. Funny story about this. Felix Guy, who's the head man of B Broadband, very nice chap. Spent some time with him at the Stuff Awards recently. He basically said, you know, why don't you test our ISP for us? You know, we'll give it to you free for a couple of months, and you can test it out. And I was like, well, actually, I already got it, but I didn't know I'd already got it. That's the weird thing. I was with O2, who B provide their services for, and but the domain name is bethere.co.uk. So when he said, who are you with? I said, oh, I'm with O2, but of course that's Be There. And he went, yeah, that's B Broadband. And I was like, right, but it's different company. And he was like, no, it's the same company. And I'm like, no, I'm with Be There. And he's like, yeah, that's us, B. Simple mistake to make. I mean, it's the domain name. But anyway, cut a long story short, they're rather good. The other thing I'd like to talk to you about with regards to B, while we're waiting for this semi-final to continue its second half, is the fact that they actually offer a control panel where you can turn what's called game mode on, which lowers your ping. It's a dedicated control panel. And it actually says game mode, turn it on or off. And you can turn it on, and you actually then get lower pings. And I can vouch for this, 9 milliseconds the other day. I tested it when
we were playing
earlier, and it had you had 6 milliseconds. Phenomenal.
And the best part about it is, he can get this great ping, and he still sucks. I mean, he tries, and he gets all the advantages. He's got a great PC, dual graphics card, everything.
Hey, when you get to my age, 29, you need all the help you can get.
29? Wow.
All the help you can get.
Well, and it's your birthday next week, and you'll still be 29? Or
29 again. Yeah, 29 again. Yeah.
Wow. It's funny.
My wife was 29 again yesterday.
It's funny, my dad says that all the time.
You joke, you jest.
No, he really does.
No. So we're waiting for this this game to get back underway. We're in the second half. That first half really was a bit of a whitewash for XOXO, and they look good value for their terrorist-sided domination of that first half.
Yeah, they did, and for XOXO, they look very confident. Considering London MiNT are a professional team out there, who at the moment are going through a few problems out there if you pay attention to Cadrid. Despite their problems, they should be favourites for this. They are the professional team, and you would back a team contracted to play video games to take this to the next level. But
yeah, I agree.
Not the case.
I agree entirely. We are about to get live then, so let's drop you inside the game for the second half of the semi-final between XOXO and London MiNT. And if you're joining us here at Sports Cafe Live, this is Paul Red-Eye Challen and Stuart Tosspot Saw bringing you live coverage of the Eurokrieg final, courtesy of Enemy Down, sponsored by B Broadband, the advantage for gamers. We're in the second half now of the semi-final. The winner of this particular game going through into the final. This is a bit of a recap. This game has already taken place, but we're just giving you a taster of what to come a little bit later on. Around about an hour from now, we'll bring you the grand final of the Eurokrieg final for Counter-Strike Source. £5,000 up for grabs for the winner. Go home with nothing if you lose. And there it is. They've broken into the upper bomb site then at London MiNT. So early, a couple of shots from Fetish has already downed the URL. And he'll get another one, will he? No, not quite. Auger will get another one. There's Henry G on your screen right now. He comes back up into the upper bomb site, but Exy and Auger both downing him. The one last man standing for London MiNT is Hudge G. He's now going to have to make his way back up into the bomb site, because I bet you anything you like, they are defusing right now. And Auger will pick up the frag. Exy will get the defuse. Nice. German efficiently. XOXO, despite the fact they're not German, win the round.
They do. Very important for them to pick that up. As we mentioned moments ago, all of their good work in the first half would have just been washed away if they'd lost it. So they pick it up. Now they're in a position where they've got the money. Their opponents don't, at least for the next round, and weapons are afoot. So for XOXO, they'd be expected to pick this one up and take it to 12-6 on that assumption. And then they're 4 rounds away from victory.
Hello, we've got a bit of a rush here going through the squeaky door. One man out through the tin can as well. And they're broken into that upper bomb site. But I think, well, they seem to be waiting for that one, XOXO, and read that one like a book from the scrapbook of London MiNT as, wow, Dan picks up that frag on Hughes. I think he had Famas in hand. Just literally spun round and picked that frag up. So Henry G is one of just 2 men remaining, I think. Yes, he is indeed. Huds G is the other man, but he does have a gun. In fact, they both have weapons here, so this could be interesting. Big round for London MiNT here as Dan comes back in heavy on Huds G. That will leave the last man standing, which will be Henry G. 51 points of health, M4 in hand, and has well, a bit of a mountain to climb to win this entire round on his own. And now completely loses the plot because Dan will pick it up. Expensive round in terms of weapons game, but I don't know. I fancied MiNT to do a little bit better once they pick themselves up a couple of weapons.
But having got those 3 frags, they can now afford to buy. As we mentioned, a bomb down equals money, frags it kills equal money, and if you're a good terrorist, you will get rewarded.
Or a bad terrorist.
And a bad terrorist, well, you won't. But here we go. So because they've had a productive 2 rounds in terms of being a good terrorist, they have got themselves weapons, and now the playing field is somewhat more even though it's quite difficult to attack this map.
It is, as they got 3 outside, 2 inside just now, as we now go into the helmet cam, if you like, of Henry G. We have a lot of people here that have never seen Counter-Strike before and have orientate themselves, so bear with us while we cycle through some of the shots just to show people exactly what's going on regards this map on Nuke. Huds G on the outside's got 2 teammates alongside him by the red, and they'll now move round to see if they can clear out that Mac building, which is right directly in front of us. Don't seem to have had anyone in there so far. There is one man at the back of that. He's just caught a glimpse of him. There he is, moving in towards that side now. Henry G will pick up that frag on Fetish, and he hasn't had the best of games, I have to say, so far. That one round where really could have won it for XOXO on his own. But they've already picked up 2 rounds. Should be able to pick up this round. But I think the element of surprise is now lost on them. They now will have worked out that London MiNT will have bought, and that kind of element of surprise, as it were, will be gone, will be lost.
Yeah, most certainly. And MiNT now have to find these next frags inexpensively. They'd find the first one. Dan goes down. London MiNT now swarming on through. XC's going to get himself a frag on the HUD. As now, there comes one back. Jimmy's gone down, and MiNT should be able to get this bomb down. Hughesy's gone down low where he knows that there's none of the counter-terrorists there. And Henry Greer will finish off the round as XC goes down, and that is London MiNT on the board and the game afoot.
Yes, 2-1 then on the second half. We do add them to the first half score, of course, of 9-6 in favour of London MiNT on that first half. So currently 10-8 overall. No, that's not right, is it? I told you my maths were terrible before, didn't I? 2 rounds already to XOXO, which gives them 11 rounds because 9 plus 2 is 11.
No,
yeah?
No, it's 10-8.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No, because
it's
not.
Because
it's 10-8 because London MiNT were on the counter-terrorist side. London MiNT have got 1.
They do have 1. They have 10-8. We're just trying to confuse the production guy in my ears going, stop confusing us.
See, a 27-year-old would have got that, but you're how old? Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. XOXO rattle off that shot as MiNT lose their first man. And this, for MiNT having weapons and XOXO not, is very, very important. Here we go with Rich making his way out towards the ramp room. He's got one to his left that he thinks he's just heard. Sound, very, very crucial. We've not mentioned that. He's lost a lot of health.
He did take a little dink there, and I'm not sure if that wasn't from his own player as they made their way into that ramp room. There's no one in there either, and I don't see where the shot could have probably come from, other than from one of his own teammates, which looks like a headshot on his own teammate. You can hurt your own team, of course, so that's probably where it came from. I couldn't work out where it was. Oh, Jimmy! Brilliant surprise on Hughesy. Rich, though, gets rid of Jimmy and Auger, who were both sitting in that upper bomb site, waiting for them to break in. They will now get this bomb planted in the upper area. Rich with another kill on X. He really has had a good game so far, and now these guys will just sit it out, wait out on the upper bomb site, and I don't think that Dan will come anywhere near them. Well, he might do because he doesn't have anything to lose, I suppose. But they are on a save round this time round the day. So there it is. Your final frag picked up, and that'll be a straightforward round for London MiNT. And, well, they do have some hope.
They do have some hope. They've really given themselves an opportunity here to get back into this one because those opening 2 rounds give them money in the bank, and now the opportunity to punish XOXO. But this round, crucial in deciding where this game will end up because XOXO have got themselves weapons. What does weapons mean? Well, as we've mentioned, it's all about being a good counter-terrorist or a good terrorist and getting the kills that reward you with cash. Here we go into the ramp room. You can see the fire coming along, but London MiNT have opened up, and XOXO are going to lose their first and their second, and London MiNT are alive here to the sound of killing as XE comes back, but MiNT look to power their way through. They need to get Henry Greer into that site and get the bomb down, but a very positive start.
Good start from them indeed. Oh, Fetish pops up from down low on the bottom of the ramp room and got rid of the menace that was Henry G at the start of that round. But they still have control of this ramp room. They really need to get control of a bomb site, though. London on the verge of being able to grab this round and really bring this tie alive as Rich picks up that frag on Auger. Exy now searching. They've all got Desert Eagles right now, XOXO, so taking a little leaf out of the London MiNT strat book, as it were. Husey, another one picked up. They've got one more man to find them. They'll break into this upper bomb site, and that London MiNT bomb will get planted here in the upper. Oh, Exy, though, he's up in the rafters. Nobody spotted him at all. And Hudge G does finally finish that off. A little bit of a mistake at the end of the round. Wasn't costly in the end. And London MiNT now lead on this side, 3-2. That was a partial buy, just Desert Eagle buy, so I guess you call it a deco is what you would call it for XOXO. They now will be on a full buy though, Stuart, and you'd expect them to be much stronger now from this round on.
Well, they have to be. They've sacrificed a lot of very important rounds here. They could have cleaned out their opponents by now, and London MiNT find the first kill. Auger comes back with the AWP, so you know that they've got money to burn. With the AWP being one of the most expensive weapons. Fetish comes in with another frag. He has been exceptional for XO as they make their way through. Rich answers back up for London MiNT. Only through. Oh, grenade comes in from Hudge G, and XO losing numbers here as Hudge G will take root in the bomb site. Husey gets himself the frag, and London MiNT take the round, and the Brits are back in it.
They certainly are back in it. Grenade up into that ladder room. Got rid of the final man. They knew he was up there as well. Bombarded him with a set of flashes and smokes and grenades and all sorts. I think they could have thrown the kitchen sink up there. They would have. And London MiNT, wow, 4-2 on a bye round against XOXO, who had what I would class as a very, very good half on T side. But London MiNT right now looking like they have a much better side on T side. And really, XOXO really need to stop the flow of rounds heading towards London and start making them flow back towards themselves if they are going to take their place in the final.
Well, XO have only 8 rounds on the board right now, having picked up the 6 and the 2 in this second half, contrary to the scoreboard you saw up on the big screen there. And for London MiNT, they're in a fantastic position, 13 rounds to score and for them, and they are 3 away from victory.
Yeah, 9-6 was that first half, was London leading. They now have 13 overall. And as Stuart rightly said, 8 for XOXO, as we are on board with London MiNT's Rich right now. Switch to the outer view of him. As you can see, he's, as you would say, we're in the middle of London. We can say he's tooled up, ready to go. Just waiting by what we call the squeaky door. So cool because, go figure, it squeaks when you go through it, or it used to. And without that door fix on it, it doesn't squeak at all, and it does open immediately, thank God. Jimmy now just waiting outside. 2 Jimmy. 2 from Jimmy. That's a 3rd from Jimmy as XOXO finally connect to the server in this second half and get themselves back on the board. It's rather frustrating for them at one point. They really looked like the same team from that first half, but now they force MiNT onto what looks like, well, there's a couple of buys in there. I think one player may well have been stacked full of cash because he's bought for other players. And, well, this could be an interesting round from London MiNT. I'm wondering what they might have done here, but it looks as if
they're saving next round if they lose this.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I don't know. There was one man bought 2 AKs, and this could be a partial buy from them. We'll see. They don't look as if they're all kitted out, that's for sure.
This is a crossroads in the match. If London MiNT win this round, then they should go on and win this match. That would take the 14, needing only 2 left. If XOXO win this, everything changes, and the pendulum swings to Scandinavia, and they can clean this one out. So absolutely crucial. They must win this round, XOXO, otherwise the game is all but over. It's 13-9, and here we go.
Lovely grenade through into the main area. Jimmy picking up that grenade kill. URL back with the revenge frag. We were on board with Fetish, who's still sitting in an upper site. No push from Rich just yet. He's now popped the door on the squeaking, just waiting to see whether he can pick up that frag. Fetish, what's the far side? Rich decides he's going to go for it. Has to reload. And just back away. Pops the door again. Still waiting for any sign of a counter-terrorist from XOXO popping out and showing himself. Rich looking down. There's a flash going to drop down into that tin hut. He pops out. Great little move, though, by Rich up on top. Oh, gets the second one. Does he know? Hey, actually, it was Husey that picked up that frag, but Jimmy has already come back round. And look at this. Dan has rotated all the way round here and has come back through the tin hut and will pick up the frag on a very unsuspecting Husey. and that'll be a very good round for XOXO. We're at 13-10 now, and they really are back into this game.
Yes.
They've woken up.
They have. You know, I think they needed a nice
kick up the backside, I think,
Danish blonde to walk past them or something like that to wake them back up and get them into this game. Now they're right back in it. And 6 rounds away from victory, or MiNT, who have now